Good morning, class 10. Today, I will continue with the remaining part of the chapter arrays which I have done in the last class. In our last class, I told you about the basic operations which we have done, basic operations which are done with the help of this arrays. What were the basic operations which I discussed in the last class? One was your searching, next was your sorting, third one was insertion, fourth was deletion, and fifth one was merging. In my last class, I told you about searching, that what is searching. When you want to search a particular element from the list of elements, that is called searching. And in searching, it is divided into two parts. One is your linear search, which was also called as sequential search. And I showed you one program based on linear search where we follow a sequential order while searching an element. And the second type of searching is binary search, which I am going to do now or today. Now, binary search. Now, before starting this binary search, I would like to say one thing or a difference between linear and binary search. In case of linear search, the list of elements where we are searching for, which is ready for us to be searched for the item. In case of linear search, we do not have to see whether the list of items or whether the elements present in the list are sorted or not. Okay. Linear search technique is applied in both sorted and in unsorted lists. Sorted means if it is arranged, it is called sorted array. So linear search doesn't look at or ignores the sorted form. It doesn't worry about whether the list is sorted or not sorted. Okay, it goes or keeps on checking or searching. Whereas this binary search, it sees whether the list is sorted or not. That means you have to be very conscious regarding binary search that it always goes with sorted array. The array or the list of elements need to be sorted first, then only you can use this binary search technique. Now, this binary search technique is a division method. Division method means here it is the list of the elements are divided into two equal parts, and then depending upon the element to be searched or depending upon the number which we are going to search in a program, we move either in the first half of the list or in the second half of the list. Okay. So I just want to show you one example before going to the program. Now, say for example, this is our list of elements. Say for example, our array size is 7 and we are going to store the 7 elements over here. Now you can see from the very list that this list is in a sorted form. That means the elements which are there inside the list are arranged. Okay. Now, so this is our list ready, and the number which we are going to search, number to be searched, say for example, we are searching for 31. Now, what happens, as I said, in case of binary search, it is divided, the list is divided into two equal parts. So how to divide the list into two equal parts? So we'll take the first position and we will take the last position. So we have to find the mid position. So first plus last divided by 2. First is our 0, last is our 6. These are the positions I'm adding and then dividing with 2. So we get as 3. That means this is our midpoint. Okay, it is divided into two equal halves. This is your first half and this is your second half. Now what happens, how do we check is, we get a number, say for example this is array A, so array A mid position, that means A 3 which we got from there is your 55. Now these conditions are, if the 55, the number which you have got in the middle position, if it is greater than the number which you are searching, if the number present in the mid position is greater than the number you are searching, in that case your last will be mid minus 1. That means you're going to move in the first half. So this is what I was telling you, that after dividing the list into two equal halves, then you have to see whether you're going to search in the first half or second half, provided the condition is, if the element present in the middle position is greater than the element which you are searching, then you have to always move in the first half. So I have deducted this mid to 1. That means your last will be mid minus 1. Mid was 3, so 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. So now again we will check in this category. That means our list is divided here 17, 31, 49. This is 0, 1, 2. Here this second half will be removed for a while because our checking will be done in the first half. Okay. Now again in this list we have to find the mid position. So mid, first, same formula, plus last by 2. First is 0, last has become 2. So 2 by 2 is 1. That means mid position we got A1, that is your 31. Now we will check whether the element which is present in the mid position is equal to the element which is searching, which is being searched. Yes, these two elements are same. That means we have found our number or the search is successful. So the moment it becomes equal to these two values, or the moment when our search is done, in that case we have used one variable of integer type which was set to 0 before, but now it becomes 1 as we have found that number in our list. So the moment the number becomes 1, you take it k, I, j, any number you can take, any variable you can take, and set it to 0 before starting the searching, and after searching if you get that number in your list, then the number turns from 0 to 1. So in that case this 1 indicates that yes, the search is successful. But if the number is not found in our list, say for example if a situation arises that the number is not present and you keep on searching using the binary search technique, then the k will remain as 0, which means that the search is unsuccessful. Okay, so this is what binary search technique. You have to keep on dividing the list and then you have to see whether you're going to move in the first half or second half, provided there are certain conditions or logic applied which you're going to see in the program itself. So I'm going to show you the program. I'm just writing down the logic behind binary search. That is, after reading the values for the array elements, then say for example this is our line for reading the values. AI is equals to Then you have to take a number which you're going to search. Say for example ns, you can take any value of your choice. You can either use buffer reader class or scanner class for user input. This LB is the last element, first one, sorry. Say for example, if this is your list, this is your 0th position, that is your first position, and this is for example last position, so this will be treated as LB, that is your lower bound, and the last element will be treated as UB, which is your upper bound. So remember that while beginning with the binary search, always see to it that your lower bound, that means your first element, should be less than the last position. Okay, then only the checking will be done. Then is your mid, LB plus UB. This is a formula for finding out the midpoint of the binary list. A mid position, if the number is less than the number you are searching, then in that case it will be LB equals to P plus 1, sorry, mid plus 1. I'm continuing over here. Again, there will be a logic that if A mid is greater than NS, which I have seen just now, which you have seen in the example that I have discussed in just now, there we have found that the position elements which was present in the middle position was greater than the number which I was searching. So in this case, your UB, that means is last position, will be decreased, mid minus 1. And if the number matches with the element you are searching, in that case, we are going to take any kind of variable. Say for example, I have taken K and I have set to 1 over here. Earlier, we'll set to K as 0 before starting the program. And then we'll apply the break because further no more checking will be done. And after that, we will write here if K is equals to 1, then system out println match is done, or any kind of message, else match is not done. So this is how you are going to do a binary search program. Okay. Next. Next operation which we are going to perform with the help of arrays is your sorting. Sorting, as I said in the last class also, that is to arrange the list of elements either in ascending order or in descending order is called sorting. Okay. Now, in sorting, it is again classified into two parts. One is your selection sort, and the second one is your bubble sort. These are the two sorting techniques which are used in Java using arrays. Okay. Now first we will go with selection sort. Before going to selection sort, I just want to draw the list of elements. Say for example, the number of elements or the size of the array is 8 over here. So naturally we have occupied 8 blocks in the computer space, starting from every index starting from 0 till 7, and the elements now. It should remember the elements should not be in a sorted form because we have to sort them. Now see here, this is our list of elements present. Total 8 elements. Okay, now selection sort means it will take the first element and it will check with the remaining elements present over here and find out which is the minimum one. Again I repeat, in selection sort technique, it will take the first element on hold and then it will check with the remaining elements present to find out the minimum or the smallest element. You can see over here, when it checks over here, it gets 15 as the smallest one or the minimum one. So the moment it gets the smallest or the minimum element, this is the minimum element. Minimum element found. When it finds the minimum element, then it will interchange it with itself. That means the places will change. That is, 15 will come here and 44 will sit there. The remaining numbers will be like as it is. Okay, can you see that? That after finding the minimum number, it has interchanged. That means 44 has gone to the 6th position where 15 was present and 15 will come back to this 0 position. Now how this interchange is taking place? This interchanges or swapping is taking place with the help of a third variable, say for example t. Now what happens when you want to interchange them? Say for example, we'll begin with the first element. So we'll take this 44 and keep it in a third variable named t. After keeping the value 44 from the first position in a third variable, actually this place will become vacant. Now we can shift this 15 to this vacant place, that is your first position. So 15 sits over here. The moment you shift this 15 over here, now this space becomes vacant. So in this case, what will happen? You will keep this t, which is temporarily stored this 44 element over here. And then we get the new list. Again, we will start with the second element now. We have completed with our first element. This is our second case. Second case, we have got 97 and 97 will be checked again with the remaining numbers to find out the minimum. See over here, it has got the minimum 27. So the moment we get the minimum number, again the interchange will be done in the similar way by taking that third temporary variable. So after interchanging, we'll get as these. Now, again, this third variable now will be checked with the remaining numbers. See, it gets a minimum value as 44. Again, the interchange will be done between these numbers. Now, after third, we will move to the fourth position, fourth number, that is your 56. Now see which is the minimum over here, see 49. Again it will be interchanged. 49 will come over here and 56 will go there. The remaining numbers will be written as it is. I'm writing the list over here. We got a new list till now, which is till now not sorted. Next, we will move to our fifth number, that is your 89. We'll again check with the remaining numbers. This is the minimum. Again, we will interchange. So see here, the moment we are getting the minimum number, we are changing it, changing their positions. Next, our sixth number, that is your 97, will be checked with the remaining numbers. Here is the minimum, so interchange will be done. And after each and every interchange, the numbers will be arranged again in a new list. The last number is your seventh number. When we are checking to find the minimum number, there is no minimum number in this case. Just see, pay attention over here, that when is the last number, when we are checking with the last element in the list, there is no minimum number. So it is already in a sorted form. So that's why it will not interchange. That means swapping or interchange will not take place at the last condition, because already it is in sorted form. So the new list which we have got after sorting is this one, where the elements are sorted in ascending order. The elements are sorted over here in ascending order. Okay. Selection sorting program, it's already given in your book itself. You can try to see that program and follow the logic behind it. The logic works like this. As the technique behind selection sorting is, it has to find out the smallest element from the list. The moment it gets the smallest element, then it interchanges. Otherwise, interchange doesn't take place, as we have seen in the last case. So you can see here total how many steps, after how many steps we have finished our sorting. That is, after 7th step, we have already got the sorted list present to you. Okay. So this is how your selection sorting works. Next, we will see bubble sort, which is the second sorting technique. It is a long process, bubble sort, though it is very easy. Bubble sort, in one step, huge number of sorting takes place, interchanging takes place. So say for example, here also our array size is 8. And the index position has started from 0. Now the elements. Here also we are going to arrange the list in ascending order. Now what happens in bubble sort? Unlike selection sort, where we were finding the smallest element, here we do not find the smallest element. Rather, we check the numbers with each other. First, these two numbers are checked. Just because, as I said, that in bubble sort we are going to arrange the list in ascending order, so we all know that ascending order means it has to be arranged starting from smallest to largest. So see over here, when these two numbers are compared, okay, like if it is AI, then it is compared with like this, AI plus 1. This is the logic. One is the 0 position and the other is 1 position. That means if it is AI, so it will be AI plus 1. These two numbers will be checked. In case of ascending, if it is greater as here, then the interchange will be done, and interchange will be done in the similar way which I have shown in selection sort, that is with the help of a temporary variable. Now just because 9 is greater than 6, so that's why what will happen, we'll take a temporary variable t, we will store this 9 to t, that means this space will become vacant, t is equals to 9 for temporary purpose. The moment this place becomes vacant, we will place 6 over here, that means 6 will be placed in the first position. After placing 6 in the first position, the position of in the first one, the second position will be vacant. So now we will keep the t over here, that is a 9 over here. and the remaining numbers will be as it is. Okay, next we will check with this number 1 and 2. These two numbers will be checked, ai plus 1. Again, this will be checked with the condition whether the number in the first position is greater than the number in the second position. No. Here in this case, just because it is not greater than, then in this case, no interchange will be there. We will move to our third one. That is your second element will be checked with the third element. Now see whether it is greater than third element. Yes. So in this case, the moment it becomes yes, interchange will be done again similarly with the help of this temporary variable. So after interchange, we will get this one, this list. Okay, next, again this will be checked with this. Again it's greater, if it is greater, again we will interchange. Again this will be checked with this, greater, no, so no interchange. Finally this number will be checked with this, greater, yes, then interchange will be done. So the technique behind bubble sort is that you have to keep on checking one number with the other whether it is greater than or not in case of ascending order. Okay, so if it is greater or if the condition satisfied, then interchange will be done, otherwise the number will be as it is. So this way it will continue. This is the step 1, this is your first step. Then like this it will keep on checking with the remaining steps. Okay, in step 2 again we will check from the beginning after completing of the first step. Then again step 2 will begin, where again the elements will be checked one after the other. One element will be checked with the second element like this, and it will be checked whether it's greater or not, then only interchange will be done. So in this way total 8 steps will be there, after which you all get the sorted list. Okay, so with this I am ending my class over here with this bubble sort technique. In my remaining class I will complete this bubble sort with the help of a program. Okay, so with this I am ending. Thank you.